Alright, today we're going to show you a Chevalier. This is a 16 by 28 AD. So this has got automatic down feed. This is a 3-axis automatic. And the machine looks really nice. This is all original paint. This is as nice as they come. They've got a paper band filter over there and your hydraulic unit here. Currently the machine is wired for 220 volts, 230 volts. You have a fine feed dial for your saddle in and out. You've got a manual hand wheel here for your table if you wanted to move your table manually. And this here is your vertical or your down feed. So I've got the spindle running right now in the hydraulics. This lever here starts the table. And we also start the column or the saddle moving. Over here there's an adjustment. You can adjust your dogs for how much this saddle travels in and out each time. And so in the surface grinding mode, we're going to feed here the 3 pulses that I have programmed here in that window. So each time the table reverses or the saddle reverses, we're going to feed the number that you have put in there. That's 3 little pulses on this hand wheel. If you watch that, you might see it move. So this is moving on top each time. You can actually feed this by hand. Now once it gets to 0, which it's going to do on the next set of pulses, or possibly the next set, you're going to see this 0 indicator light come on. Right there. At that point the feed stops and the machine does a spark out, depending on the number you have programmed also in there. How many passes to the back of the magnet and to the front of the magnet. And then it will stop and park. It will also go up if you choose. You have a ability here to set this potentiometer so that at the end of the cycle it'll go up. So you've got a couple of modes here. That mode there was the surface grinding mode. You've got manual where you can move the table in and out with your manual buttons, as well as my wrap it up and my down here. You have to press both buttons for safety. Your real fine feed comes from this knob here, and you want to come down and just touch your part when you're setting up. You also have a knob here that you pull out and you rotate 180 degrees. That determines how much this picks each time it pulses. The 3 times that I have up there, it can either be a 1/2 tenth or 1/10. 1/10,000th or half of 1/10,000th. So let's put this back in automatic. I'm going to put it over here to the far right. I'm going to put this back in automatic. This blinking button here means that it's ready to be started. You want to make sure that your table control lever is all the way off, otherwise it will not start. You also want to make sure you have your magnet on. You have a switch over here to turn your magnet on. You have a potentiometer, and you also have a position here for demag. So now we're not going to use the saddle because I'm in the what they call the plunge grinding or the slot grinding mode. So each time we go back and forth, I feed. Now this number here is 2, so it's going there and back 2 times before it feeds. And you can change that back to 1. Then it feeds every time, which might be too much down feed pressure on your workpiece. But you can change how many times. You also can change here with this how many times you actually go around this hand wheel. Right now, 1 revolution of this hand wheel will give you 50 thousandths stock removal. That's a lot, 50 thousandths. So most people are going to just keep this on 1. So you set this anywhere between 0 and 50 thousandths to put in your down feed amount. So you would feed down you would touch your workpiece, you would loosen the dial, you would set the dial to the 3 or 4 thousandths or 5 or 6 thousandths that you want to remove, and then this will feed down to the 0. You can have 4 pulses in here, you can have 2 pulses, you can have whatever you want. When this gets to 0, I'm just going to help it along a little bit. Oop. You get the light on. Now that I turn this function on, you're going to see our wheel head goes up a little bit, depending on how much you open up this potentiometer after the grind. And again, when the cycle is over, you're going to see this blinking because your grinding wheel has actually shut off and your hydraulics. So next thing you would need to do for your next set of parts would be to turn this off again, and now you can start this. You can decide which side you can park on, the left side or the right side. Your cross-feed, when you're in the cross-feed mode, let's go back to that. And we go in and out. This potentiometer here is what sets that stroke. How much this step is. It's actually getting smaller and smaller. You can see by that hand wheel. And you can make this very tiny steps. This is also, you slide this lever over in the manual mode and you can do these fine movements against the shoulder. So that's it. That's the Chevalier 16 by 28. That's pretty a decent size magnet, 16 by 28. Overall machine looks great. So that's about all I could say about it. 220 volts, 230 volts, 3-phase. We have a manual. We have a little toolbox that goes with it, and the leveling pads. So thank you very much.